We spend a lifetime gathering physical objects, quietly believing that every purchase and keepsake will anchor us to security and happiness. We build high walls out of our possessions, filling every shelf, closet, and drawer until our living spaces become overcrowded museums of our past. Yet, as the years accumulate, these very objects begin to weigh heavily upon our spirits, transforming from comforts into silent burdens that demand our constant care. The Stoics understood that the soul reflects its environment, and a cluttered room almost always mirrors a restless, crowded mind. When you fill your physical world with unnecessary things, you leave no space for clarity, stillness, or deep contemplation to settle in. True freedom begins when you realize that your worth was never tied to the volume of your belongings. Letting go of physical clutter is simply the first step in reclaiming the quiet sanctuary of your own mind. Every object sitting quietly in your home holds a subtle tether to your energy, silently demanding your attention, maintenance, and memory. An old suit, a forgotten piece of furniture, or boxes of unread papers are not merely passive items. They are mental obligations that whisper of past identities and unfulfilled promises. Seneca famously observed that we are impoverished not by what we lack, but by the heavy weight of what we feel compelled to hold on to. When you surround yourself with more than you need, your attention is divided into 1,000 tiny fragments, making true inner tranquility impossible. Senior minimalism is not an act of cold deprivation, but a conscious decision to liberate your focus from the trivial. By releasing the physical objects that no longer serve your present existence, you cut the invisible cords that bind your peace to material form. Clear the physical room, and watch how quickly your spirit begins to breathe again. We often cling to sentimental items because we falsely equate our memories with the physical objects that accompanied them. We fear that donating an old gift, an inherited piece of china, or a dusty photo album means erasing a precious chapter of our history or betraying a loved one. But Marcus Aurelius reminded us that the past exists solely within the quiet fortress of our own consciousness, entirely independent of wood, paper, or glass. The love you felt, the lessons you learned, and the experiences that shaped you are permanently woven into your character, completely untouchable by time. An object is merely an empty shell, and keeping it out of guilt only turns your home into a monument to yesterday. Honor your history by carrying its wisdom in your heart, rather than hoarding its dust upon your shelves. The memory remains pure even when the object is gone. The modern world conditions us to believe that accumulation is the ultimate proof of a life well lived, a tangible report card of our success. We spend our youth striving to acquire more, only to realize in our later years that our possessions have begun to possess us. Stoicism teaches us to practice voluntary simplicity, continuously auditing our lives to separate the essential from the superfluous. When you look at an object, ask yourself if it genuinely enhances your capacity for virtue, peace, and daily clarity right now. If it merely occupies space out of habit or former pride, it has become an obstacle to your current spiritual growth. True wealth lies not in an abundance of material goods, but in a mind that desires almost nothing beyond its own tranquility. Simplify your surroundings until only what is truly vital and beautiful remains. There's an incredible, weightless freedom that accompanies the decision to release the physical identity you wore. During your working years, many seniors keep closets filled with formal attire, old career awards, and tools of past professions long after those chapters have permanently closed. Clinging to these relics is a subtle form of resistance to the natural, beautiful rhythm of aging and transformation. Epictetus taught that suffering arises when we demand that things remain as they were, instead of accepting them as they currently are. Releasing these old symbols of status is an act of profound courage, declaring that you are ready to inhabit your present chapter fully. You no longer need to wear the armor of who you used to be to validate the wisdom of who you are today. Step out from under the shadow of your former self and enjoy the light of who you have become. Our homes should be sacred sanctuaries that restore our energy, not chaotic storage facilities that constantly drain our vitality. When every surface is covered with knickknacks and every drawer is stuffed to capacity, our senses are perpetually overstimulated without us even realizing it. This visual noise creates a low-level, continuous background anxiety that subtly erodes our capacity for deep, quiet reflection. By deliberately clearing space, you invite a profound, healing quietude into your living quarters that directly settles your nervous system. The Stoic soul thrives in order, simplicity, and spaciousness, where the mind can move without tripping over physical distractions. Imagine walking into a room that contains only a comfortable chair, a good light, and a clear floor. In that clean, unburdened space, your soul finally finds the stillness it has been seeking for years. Decluttering in our senior years is a profound act of kindness toward those we love, sparing them the overwhelming burden of sorting through our lives later. We often leave behind mountains of paper, forgotten collections, and endless household items, naively assuming our children will treasure everything we accumulated. In reality, handing down decades of unorganized material goods places an invisible, exhausting weight upon the shoulders of the next generation. A wise Stoic looks ahead with clear eyes, preparing for the natural end of life by leaving their affairs in pristine, elegant order. By curating your space now, you curate the legacy of peace you leave behind, gifting your family clarity rather than confusion. You show love not by leaving them your material things, but by leaving them an unburdened path. Leave behind a legacy of light steps, not heavy trunks. The desire to acquire and hold onto items often stems from a deep-seated, unconscious fear of scarcity and our own mortality. We stockpile goods, collect tools, and hoard supplies as if a fortress of physical items could somehow protect us from the inevitable changes of life. But Stoicism reminds us that no amount of material wealth can shield us from fate, sickness, or the passage of time. True security is not built out of wood, stone, or plastic. It is forged within your ability to adapt, endure, and remain calm regardless of your circumstances. When you release your desperate grip on material security, you discover an unshakable inner confidence that needs no physical reinforcement. You realize that you came into this world with nothing, and your true worth has always been entirely spiritual. Lay down your material defenses and trust the quiet strength of your own soul. Consider the immense daily energy required to clean, organize, repair, and manage a house packed with decades of accumulated belongings. We spend our precious, limited morning hours dusting items we rarely look at and organizing closets filled with things we never use. This physical labor represents a tragic misuse of our remaining time under the sun, trading moments of presence for the care of inanimate objects. Marcus Aurelius constantly asked himself if a thing was necessary, pruning away useless actions to preserve his mental energy for what truly mattered. Every item you eliminate from your home is an errand you never have to run again, and a chore you never have to perform. Reclaim your time from the tyranny of maintenance, and redirect that vitality toward quiet contemplation, nature, and love. Less stuff to manage means more life to live. There's a sacred art in holding an object in your hands, acknowledging its past usefulness in your life, and then gently letting it go without regret. Senior minimalism is not about harsh, angry disposal, but a soft, grateful releasing of things that have fulfilled their purpose. When you let go of an item, you allow it to flow back into the world where it might serve someone who truly needs it today. This mindset aligns with the natural law of impermanence, recognizing that we are merely temporary caretakers of everything we possess. Nothing on this earth truly belongs to us. Everything is a temporary loan from the universe to be enjoyed and passed along with grace. Practice this gentle surrender daily, and feel the tight knots of attachment in your heart slowly loosen. The art of letting go of things prepares the spirit for the ultimate art of letting go of life itself. In our early years, we view empty space as a problem to be solved, rushing to fill every vacant corner with furniture, art, and decoration. We feel uncomfortable with emptiness, fearing that an bare room signifies a cold, incomplete, or impoverished life. But as wisdom matures within us, we come to appreciate that empty space is not a void, but a profound presence filled with potential and peace. In architecture as in life, it is the empty space within the vessel that makes it useful and beautiful. A minimalist home allows the eye to rest, the breath to deepen, and the mind to expand without constraint. Do not rush to fill the quiet voids in your home or your daily schedule with fresh distraction. Embrace the empty spaces, for they are the very rooms where serenity loves to dwell. We often use physical shopping and collecting as a subtle, ineffective medicine for internal loneliness, boredom, or lingering grief. When we feel an emptiness within our spirit, our immediate consumer instinct is to buy something new to briefly fill the quiet void.